In this video, we'll be looking at the double angle identities for both sine and cosine. We're going to start by looking at two right triangles. One triangle is for theta and one triangle is for alpha. Using our double angle identities, we want to find the exact value of sine 2 theta and cosine 2 alpha. Now, before we actually apply the identities, we want to go ahead and make sure we have all sides accounted for. We have 3, 4, 5, and over here we have 7 and 24. So we need to make sure we find this third side first. We're going to go ahead and use the Pythagorean theorem that says 7 squared plus 24 squared should give me that hypotenuse. I'll call it h squared. So I'm going to go ahead and type this into my calculator. 7 squared plus 24 squared. And then we want to take the square root of that. Square root 625, and we get 25. So this side right here is 25. Now looking at my formulas, notice that it says sine single theta, sine single cosine single theta. There's no 2 here. So for each triangle, I'm going to go ahead and write the sine and cosine for each one. So for in my first triangle, we have sine theta. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. And cosine is 4 over 5. Now if we look at the second triangle, we have alpha. So sine alpha equals 7 over 25, and cosine alpha equals 24 over 25. To apply our formulas, we're going to go ahead and start with sine 2 theta. So for the first one, we're just looking at the theta triangle. So sine 2 theta, the formula is 2 sine theta cosine theta. We go ahead and substitute in our values. And then we'll multiply those out on our calculator to go ahead and we will get our final answer for sine 2 theta. So in our calculator, we type 2 times 3/5 times 4/5, and we get 24 25ths. So sine 2 theta in this case would be 24 25ths. The second question asks us to find cosine 2 alpha. So I already found the sine alpha and cosine alpha. There are 3 different options for cosine 2 theta, and you can choose whichever one you want. I always just use the first one just for simplicity's reasons. So let's find cosine 2 theta, cosine 2 alpha. Cosine 2 alpha is going to be cosine squared alpha minus sine squared alpha. Cosine is 24 25ths squared minus sine is 7 25ths squared. In our calculator, we go ahead and subtract those two. (24 25ths squared minus 7 25ths squared. And we get 527 over 625. So cosine 2 alpha is 527 over 625.